As you start to get further down this hallway, that acrid stench of death that you had smelled before begins to grow more harsh. You're trudging through this blood, this bile, this viscera, whatever is kind of leaking down the halls all over the place, which you now know is probably parts of old townsfolk, maybe. You round the corner, and you find yourselves face to face with what appears to be a pile of bodies.
I cast a firebolt at the pile of bodies.
And a firebolt flies over and hits the pile of bodies. And then you look down. And you see, from a blast of something that had flown off of this pile and landed right on your leg, is a hand. And it just is like on your leg. And then you watch its finger twitch. And then you watch as it wraps all of its fingers around your leg and starts to starts to thing its way up your leg. As a handful of these, as you look around, you see this going on. Fignacious yells out, and the rest of you look down, you see this thing, and you ready yourselves for battle, and you look around, and you don't see any zombies anywhere, but you can hear. And as you look to the walls and you look to the ceiling, hands, a handful of hands, if you will, start to appear. And I would like everyone to roll initiative. And as we come to the top, Raymond, you see this happening. Fignacious yells out. What do you yell out, Fignacious, as this thing is crawling up your leg?
So I'm so kind of startled and surprised, and I go back into my voice where I was trying to mock the kid's voice, to be like, "Come down and help me," and I go, "Help me!" As I was remember that kid? What's his name? Yankel.
Yankel.
Yeah, where I was like trying to impersonate Yankel when I was trying to call everyone downstairs from upstairs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Up the vent. But I don't think the viewers will know that.
Nope, because that wasn't recorded because of issues. Raymond, what you got, bud?
Basically, a couple of us downstairs, a couple of us upstairs. I was imitating the child we were trying to rescue, and then they didn't buy it. But then right now, hopefully you buy it.
Thanks for the recap. Nice job.
You got it.
All right, Raymond, you're up. What's up?
Raymond is going to run up to the nearest hand, right about here, and he's gonna take a swipe with his short sword at that particular hand.
Okay.
He'd like to cleave it in twain.
So you see, like, on the wall, you hear that chittering, that clicking around or whatever, and you see, as you look around, you do see this hand, and it's like coming down the wall.
That would be a 23.
Oh, a 23 most definitely hits this hand. How much damage does that do, sir?
A 7 damage.
Okay. You what are you hitting it with again? Your short sword? So
short sword.
You pull your short sword out. You very, very deftly put your longbow away that you've been carrying, and in its place you pull the short sword out. You switch it to your dominant hand, and you come across this crawling terror that's coming down the wall, and you obliterate it.
I run over to the other one with my bonus action, two-handed or two weapon fighting. So I put the bow away, grab the first sword, and then cleave that guy, run over to the other one and pull the other sword off my hip and slice at the other one. And that would be a 13 to hit.
Okay, so as your bonus action, you're gonna do two weapon fighting stuff on it?
Indeed.
Okay. So for anyone who's not sure what that is, when you take the attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light weapon that you're holding. You don't add your ability modifier to the damage of the bonus attack, but it is 13 to hit, which does definitely hit. So roll your damage. It's just roll the damage die. You don't add any modifiers.
That would be a 2.
2 is exactly how much damage it takes. As you slam into this thing again with your other short sword, you pull the second one out, and you just and chop all its fingers off, and it falls to the ground, and it's just like twitching in the goo. Is there anything else for you, sir?
Anybody need to be lent a hand? And I just stand at the ready.
Okay, and standing at the ready, it brings us to Moxie.
The one on Fignacious is like wrapped around him, yes?
It is, yes. It's like wrapped around his leg and slowly working its way up his leg.
Okay, then I'm gonna move over there and try to use my dagger so I don't stab him with my whole ass sword.
Moxie, you start moving around through this sludge. Remember that your movement speed is halved because of the difficult terrain here.
So I can't really make it to him.
Well, so you can get within range and get like an advantageous position if you want to try to throw your dagger at it.
Love it.
Range daggering throwing at my friends. It's a good idea.
Yeah. I love it. Do it.
And you're throwing a dagger, an ass dagger. Or no, ass sword. What was it?
No, we were talking about ass basements.
We're in the ass basement with my long ass sword.
That's right.
And now my ass dagger.
Sword.
18.
Actually, an 18 definitely hits. Roll your damage on your dagger. And just for the record, we are in the ass sub-basement now. The sub-ass, if you will.
It's 4.
4 points of damage. And you slip and you slide and you're like working your way around. You're having a hard time trudging through, and you get as close as you can before you feel like this thing's going to start to attack Fignacious, and you just... And it... right through the hand and pins the hand into the muck behind it, kind of over in this direction. But it is quite dead. I'm gonna leave it on the board so that you know where your dagger is.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That was your action and movement. You still have bonus action if you'd like to do anything.
No, I'm good right now.
Okay. And the Nakarada in the back here is going to... This one's on the ceiling, and the ceiling is not super high in the space. It's probably about 10 feet above your heads, but it was in the last corridor. But because this has kind of been an uphill climb now because of all the ridiculous amounts of grossness on the ground, it's probably more like 5 to 8 feet above your heads. As one of these things comes chittering across the ceiling, and it can't move super far, but it gets to about here, and that's about it. This other one over here makes some moves, gets here and just falls towards Fignacious. And Fignacious, it is going to claw at you. It's going to be a 19 to hit. And as it falls on your face, it just falls and digs its fingers into your eye sockets, and you scream and start bleeding as the last 2 points of damage that you 2 points of vitality that you have suck out of your body as it just drops you. And you guys watch as Fignacious falls backward and splashes into the ground with this claw with 2 fingers sticking into his eye sockets, and the other one's just moving around like they're mocking you. Fignacious, I would like you to make a death saving throw, please. So roll a d20. 10 or above is a save. Anything under that's a fail. Natural 1 is 2 fails, and a natural 20, you come back up with 1 point of health.
All right, ready? D20, go.
D20, go. D20, go. D20, go. 13. Okay, that's 1 save. So mark off 1 death save. Nice job. Yurgriff, you see Fignacious clinging to life, although he is unconscious. You can see him, like, his body shuddering a little bit and his face kind of tweaking out. His blood is pouring out of these eye sockets. You are in the back of the group as they rush these claws. There's one on the ground right in front of him. The other two are on the side walls a little further away. What would you like to do?
Difficult terrain, so movement is what, doubled?
Halved.
Well, I mean halved. Yeah.
It'd be cool if it worked the other way.
He can, I know, right? He can go 10, 20. So he's gonna take out his hand axe and throw it at the one that came off of Fignacious.
Okay.
So that is gonna be 13 to hit.
So you watch as this thing, it pulls its fingers out of its eye socket and it stands back up on the two hands, almost like a spider would be getting ready to just pounce at the next person. And you rush forward and you just and you chuck your hand axe and it cleaves the thing and pushes it way off away and kills it. I just knowing your plus, you don't have to roll damage because your plus is, oh, you did roll damage, it was a 9. And it flies about over here somewhere, and that one is your hand axe. Put a little H in that so I know, and this one's a dagger.
But that was his turn.
Okay, and that is your turn. Crawling a craw, number 14, the one in the far back. 5, 10, 15, 20. 25, 30. Rushes this way, and then you watch as it digs itself. It dashes in this direction using all its potential movement in its turn, and you watch as it digs into the like the grossness that's coming down the walls, and it disappears. Raymond, right next to your face, it's just no longer there. You watch as it just digs in, and it's like, what the fuck? That's its turn.
Would I get a reaction or a opportunity attack?
Not in this case, no. And I can explain why afterwards, but I don't want to destroy the suspense. This guy's out. Raymond, you are up, though.
I'm going to look at the one remaining handy hand, and I'm going to pull out my longbow again and try to take him out. I want to pin him against the wall where he hands. What does a hand do? I don't know.
Well, we're all going to try and make hand puns, and they're all going to be bad. So the one that like went in that area where you just were, so you're going to try and pin it to wherever it disappeared behind the sludge. Is that essentially what you're saying?
No, the other one there. Yeah.
The one over here. Okay. So make your attack then.
That would be a 17 to hit.
Okay, you just say, shit, I'll deal with that one later. And as you put your swords away and you and let it fly, and it hits the thing, and your arrow goes straight through it into the giant pile of dead bodies. And that creature is no more. Is there anything else for you, sir?
I'm going to back away from the wall where that hand went, but I'm gonna kind of be at the ready for whatever's gonna come out of that sludgy hand bile-y goodness that is a wall.
Okay, so as you back away from the wall to get away from it, you all of a sudden you just coming right out of it. And this is why you couldn't get like an attack of opportunity, because it didn't leave your space. It just hid itself behind this, and then it comes out as you back away and it attempts to attack you with its attack of opportunity. It's a 20 to hit, but it got a natural 1 on its damage. So you take 2 points of bludgeoning or slashing damage as it jumps out and claws at you, and you see this creature again. It hits you as you move away, and then it finds itself landing on the ground right next to Yurgriff and Moxie. Moxie?
Because I am an angel among men, I will use Cure Wounds on
So what? Just you don't have to play this if you don't want to play it this way. But what do you say when you do this stuff? Because I know it's verbal and somatic, and I think it can be fun to kind of push those components. You know.
Yes. So I kneel down. I have this really scary looking lyre that's made of drow spider webbing type deal.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And I don't really play anything as much as I like strum one really like weird sounding chord and put my hand on his head and I say, "May the goddess of the sea be with you," and I heal him.
Okay. How much do you heal him for? 12 points? So, Fignacious, you gain 12 points of health, and you just you weren't dead, but you like, holy crap, what the hell was that? And you shoot up, and you're on your ass. You're still considered prone technically, but you shoot up and you're alive.
I am now your goddess of life and death.
I giggle a little bit, and then I say, "Thank you. I knew you'd get me."
Nice.
As if I didn't even realize the gravity of what just happened.
Is that all for you, Moxie?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. As Moxie finishes singing with her or speaking out loud and playing the lyre and sending this power into you, Fignacious, and you awaken, you find yourself on the ground, kind of laying down, half up on your elbows a little bit, breathing again. You feel excellent. You feel better than you did this morning after eating that cheese that made you throw up all over the place and start bleeding from your mouth. It's your turn. What would you like to do? It is half your movement to stand up, and then don't forget it's difficult terrain.
Right.
Which is half movement again.
Right. So I'm going to stand up. So half movement right now puts me at 15.
Yep.
And then half of that is
so just
7.
say, just round up, say it's 10.
Okay, I've got 10. And I'm just gonna stand where I am, and because I have no idea what else is. Oh, actually, there's a hand somewhere that I don't see.
There is. You look around. You don't really need a bigger perception check. You see, Yurgriff is already looking at this thing. Moxie has turned back. Her attention back towards it. It's right there.
Cool. I really want to jump back in and help my friends out, and I'm gonna firebolt that thing. Oh wait, actually, just a quick thing. Because I passed out, my mage hand disappeared, which means my torch went into the ground. So can I actually even see this?
No, you can't actually. Right now, it's total darkness. That's a good point. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my I'm gonna use my turn to find my torch. Is that? I don't know. I probably can't even do that.
So the last time you saw your mage hand holding the torch before you passed out, it was on the other side of the pile, lighting up the hallway. So you look around and you know the direction that it was in, but your mage hand is gone. You know that it's over there, but you can't actually see it from here because it's also pitch black.
Let's see. Can I cast mage armor on myself?
And just so the internet's aware, yeah, that's the point of mage armor, is to cast it on yourself. I mean, I think you can cast it on others, can you?
Yeah, well, it says you touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor.
Yeah, you can totally cast it on yourself. That's kind of like a wizard's thing. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie here. I'm not gonna go back on what I was about to say, but I was definitely muted because I was farting, and I didn't want it on stream. But now you know anyway, so I should just let them all go.
Wait, I thought you didn't fart this.
Wait, what?
I thought you didn't fart.
Who farted?
I don't know. It wasn't you. It couldn't have been you.
I don't know. But anyway, it's your turn. It is pitch black. You know where.
Yeah.
You know the direction it's in, but you don't know where it is.
I am just going to... Oh, really? I thought I just had one. Okay, I'm going to pull out a torch, and I'm going to light it up with my tinderbox. And that's my action.
So you take the time to pull another torch out of your pile. Yeah, you had 10 of them. You have 9 of them now because one of them is missing. and you pull one of those out and you light it, and that takes your turn to do it. And as you do, you see it flicker and then flicker again. And Raymond at this point, like I don't know how Raymond's been seeing, because that's whatever it is. I'm not going to go back on it now. But you're flicking it, and now there's light in the room again. Raymond was just real good. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Echolocation.
Yeah, he echolocated
It's like
things.
screeching.
But Yurgriff, you're up. This crawling hand thing, if you will, is right at your feet.
He just makes an attack on it with his longsword.
Okay.
One-handed. And that is a 23 to hit.
Oh, that hits. How much damage, sir?
That is 7 damage.
Okay. And as you pull out your longsword, you grasp your longsword, and you come down on this thing and just stab it into the ground directly, and it just shudders and just goes limp and stops moving, and it is what we call dead.
That was exactly what was playing in my head.
So as you guys complete this and you kind of brush off whatever you have to brush off and get yourselves ready, you look around and nothing else is moving. It still smells like absolute foulness down here, but nothing else is moving. The tensor's floating disc is now gone. Because it is a concentration. Let me double check. That might not be a concentration spell. Your disc might actually just hang out. Tensor's floating disc is not a concentration, so it's just there. Your disc is still around. I will say that.
I'm gonna kind of use my mind powers to call it back closer to us.
He watches it kind of comes down the side of the pile of bodies and works its way over and just kind of stops at your feet.
I sit down on it like I was before.
Yeah, you guys watch as Mr. Figgy sits down on this thing and cha-cha-cha-cha.
Hey, maybe we should use that thing to get over this pile of bodies. It seems like it floats on top.
Oh, so now you want to ride this thing. But before you didn't. Why don't you just walk through the pile? And
Yes.
Yurgriff, the stubborn dwarf, says, well, I guess that is a one way of getting through it, and he just walks into the pile.
I hate every part of this.
You
and
guys
then
watch.
I was going to offer it. I was just pushing buttons.
You watch as Yurgriff starts just kind of climbing over the pile of the bodies and making his way to the other side. And then he's kind of, you can see the top of his head, but mostly out of sight on the other side of this pile. It's gross, man. It's real gross. Yurgriff's like wiping it off, trying to get it off his hands afterwards. And, like, it's getting worse. It's all over your body now.
I'm going to float over and send my disc back for anybody else who wants it.
How tall is the pile of bodies?
It's probably like 3.5 feet, 4 feet tall. It's not huge. It's just that it's a pile of bodies and you can't walk through it.
Raymond is going to take a running start, and he is going to try and do a backflip over it.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check, Raymond.
I'm going to use the disc while he's doing that.
Raymond starts to head back to the other end of the hallway, and Moxie hops on the disc and floats, and Fignacious calls it back, and it floats over, and the three of them find themselves on the other side as Raymond sludges back to the end of the hall and starts to go, and you just like almost pulling your feet out of it. It's so hard to run through all this, but you're doing it anyway. Make an acrobatics check.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, shit. Tell me how you get over this thing.
So I run up to the edge, and right as I get there, I actually do a front flip, but looks almost like I'm getting set up to do a beautiful swan dive into a pool. But right before I'm about to hit the ground, I complete the flip, and I land with my left knee on the ground, and I bow my head, and I come standing straight back up, and I just kind of brush my shoulders off,
As you
I keep walking.
as you're flying over this thing, and because you got a natural 20, I'm going to give you this. It was like bullet time, and you just like looked at the bodies as you're flying, like upside down over them. They don't look like the zombies. This pile of bodies looks desiccated. Like they've been here for a long time. They're old. They're wet because of all the other wetness that's in this hallway. But they look like their essence, their very life essence had been sucked out of their bodies. Almost mummified. As you land on one knee and just...
Raymond turns to the group and says, I forget the voice that I was doing before, but I kind of want to do it again.
It was great. I wish you could do it again.
I think it was kind of like, Dear Diary. Was that it?
Yeah.
All right. I think that's probably how I'll remember it every time. I'll just kind of go, Dear Diary. Just so y'all know, those bodies look to be pretty desiccated, or desiccant packet, whatever. They looked pretty fucked up. They didn't look like a zombie though. Dear Diary.
It sounds like
go ahead.
It sounds like a cross between Yurgriff Anvilhands, Southern Lawyer, and Frank Ash's old-timey voice.
It is. That's exactly what I'm tapping into. It's the old-timey voice.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see?
As Yurgriff was climbing over this pile of bodies, did he notice anything, or was he just focused on...
based on what you had said, I think that you were just kind of focused on getting to the other side of this. Brief glances, you noticed that they were definitely wearing, there were some lumber people. There was some just general kind of like clothing from people who live in the region, not necessarily the town, but Damara itself, the country. That type of kind of clothing for the region.
Okay.
But you all make it to the other side. And as you push forward, you near the other side of you near the end of this corridor, and you see that there's a door ahead of you. You can go ahead and move yourselves all the way up to where I'm pinging now. And you see another door, very similar to the ones in that very first room that you had come down into this sub-ass basement. What would you guys like to do?
What's the door look like?
It is wooden. It is...
Is it ass-like?
It is, yes, it is wooden and it is ass-like. It is, it has no locks or anything on that like that, but it does have what appears to be like a ring handle on it. And it looks, at cursory glance, to pull towards you.
Being that it is ass-like, is there like an outline of two butt cheeks with a spot in the middle where a key might go?
No.
Can I roll something to check for that?
You can, but the answer is still going to be no. It doesn't exist.
I'm still going to roll for it. Can I roll something?
Give me an investigation check, and if you get a natural 20, I'm going to reach through and slap you.
I imagine if I roll a natural 20 on this. No, you're lucky. No natural 20. It was an 8.
You guys watch as Raymond is up there, and he's looking at this door, and he's got one hand on it, like drawing these like half circles. But you can watch clearly as his other hand very slowly goes to the back of his pants and starts scratching his ass.
Raymond, just try knocking on the door. It's the polite thing. Stop feeling it up.
I send my mage hand forward because I'm carrying my torch, and because his face is so close to it, just slightly push on the back of his head so his nose just touches the door. Not like slam into the door, just a little touch. And then I dissipate my mage hand.
One of these days, Raymond is just gonna fight Fignacious. It's gonna be epic, and one of you are gonna have to roll a new character.
It's gonna be me. Actually, it depends on what level.
So I'm gonna, I guess, back away, and I'm just gonna turn to the group and say, well, there's no ASCII here. That's not the right voice at all. Fuck me.
What is an ASCII?
It's a character format by which a lot of text is communicated.
You're reaching. You're reaching now. You guys are in front of this door. What would you like to do?
Yurgriff grabs the ring handle and tries to pull it open.
Okay.
Pull the door open.
And you grab it and you pull, and it's a little stuck halfway, but you grab it with a second hand and kind of nudge Ray out of the way a little bit and pull it, and it slides open. And the reason it was kind of stuck is because of the guck and shit on the ground. But as it opens up, you look out into what appears to be a relatively vast room. And you knew this from the other side, at least you presume this from the other side. You had been looking into this big space. And Yurgriff and Moxie, you can see in the center is that chest. You can see off the other side is that portcullis, one of the many portculli that are in this area. Fucking, I like that word. That was a good move, Fignacious. Nice job.
Portculli.
You see, as you look and enter into this room, it is pretty vast compared to anything else you've been in so far. The room stretches well beyond the 40 feet of light that the torches provide, but two of you can actually see a good portion of that. But it's mostly made up of the same materials that you've seen everywhere else. On the very far side of the room, up in this direction, I'm not sure if you can see that ping I just threw out there. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. You can see what appears to be a decrepit staircase. It's a spiral staircase. Looks like it was probably very ornate at one point, and it continues upwards, but then it stops about halfway to the ceiling, which is roughly 45 or 50 feet in the air. Looking out into the room, there is a very large chest sitting in the middle of the room. But this isn't what initially catches your eye, Yurgriff. What really does, and it makes you kind of stop for a second, you can see at one point in the room, kneeling on the ground, is a small dwarf boy. And he's leaning with his arms out to his sides, with his head cocked back. His eyes are open wide, and you can see droplets of blood coming out of his tear ducts and just floating across the room to what appears to be something on the wall. Not very fast, but they are doing this one at a time.
Oh.
It's roughly in that area there.
Yurgriff turns to the group. He says, now I see the little Yankle boy sitting down there. So there is something afoot. That I do see droplets of blood coming out of his tear ducts, but I cannot see where they are going. They are going to the other side of the room. I am a little cautious to run to the boy, but we need to get in this room as quickly as possible.
I'd like to send my mage hand to block the flow of blood, tears.
Okay, so it's as you all step. Why don't you step into the room, put your tokens where you want them to be, so I can have a general idea of where everybody is, and then we'll deal with that, Fignacious. I'm just trying to find something I can throw in place just to use at random for this token of the boy, so you kind of know where he is.
That boy likes his dessert.
He's not that big. He is a boy. He's that big, and he's kneeling roughly in that position there, and that's where the blood droplets are just kind of slowly, one at a time, out of his tear ducts.
They're going towards the chest, was it?
They're going towards this space here. The chest.
So it's kind of a little Blair Witch Project, kind of, but he's just staring into the wall and blood's coming from his eyes.
Yeah, essentially he's down on two knees. His legs are splayed a bit. He's got his arms. I If I roll back, maybe you can see. He's got his arms kind of like out and back like this, almost, with his head back, his eyes open. 1, 2, like very slowly heading in that direction. Fignacious casts his mage hand, or sends his mage hand out there to try and stop them. And as it gets there, it gets right in front of his face. The kid doesn't move at all. And the blood just kind of goes around the mage hand and just continuously just working its way towards this door. One drop at a time.
Can Raymond see where it's going into the wall?
It is just outside of your vision. If you would probably have to get up closer to get a better look anyway, because it's only going to get you dim light at that point. If you want to position yourself like, up around here, kind of closer to the chest area, you'd be able to get a better look at what's happening.
Okay, Raymond's gonna walk up to about here.
Okay.
He's gonna walk most of the way, just in front of the chest, trying to get a view.
Okay. You can see.
He's gonna also take his torch and he's gonna stick it in the ground so that the flame is above to light up the room.
Make a strength check. Try and get a good spot that you can really. I can throw things on the ground. You
11.
You dig a quick hole as you get over there and just kind of stuff it in, and it seems to be okay for the time being. And it stretches out for a good portion of the room. I think like the edges like this at this point are kind of dim light at that point. The rest of the room is mostly bright. But you look and you see where the blood's going to, and it looks like that same thing that you had seen in that door that led you down here. That Yurgriff sacrificed some of his own blood to be able to get open. It has the skull of Baal with the droplets of blood all around it, and you can see that maybe half of the droplets of blood. This is much larger. So like the one that was on the door before was probably only about this big, right? The skull itself, and it had droplets that were about that round above the skull and around the skull, and this one is huge. It is a massive skull with these massive droplets, and maybe half the droplets seem like they're full. And as you watch the next 2 teardrops come out of his eyes and just float over to there, they hit a specific one of those blood droplets that are engraved into the wall, and it's almost like it's filling up like a cup. And those 2 droplets filled it like a quarter of the way.
Ray knocks an arrow and fires it at the cup.
Well, so it's not a cup. It's the imagery of the skull and the imagery of blood droplets strewn all about. Actually, you know what? I think I can throw it in the chat real quick, so you guys have a general understanding what you're looking at.
It's like a skull that's filling up.
It looks like. Here, I'm gonna open this. It looks like this. I think I can just dump it into chat like this.
Okay.
That's what it looks like, and the lower half of those blood droplets are already filled. One of them towards like one of them closest to the eye is like filling up as his blood is going over to that droplet.
I'm gonna let the arrow fly and try to hit the skull square in the nose.
Okay. Make an attack roll. And roll damage, please.
Okay. 10.
You knock it and it flies and it hits true. It hits the skull dead center and just ping, ting, 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 and hits off the ground. Make a perception check, please.
30-20.
From your vantage point, it looked almost like when your arrow hit it that there was some sort of protective magic on it. You do cast a little bit of spellage, and you did see a very, very slight flash as your arrow hit it, and it wasn't that of like an arrowhead hitting metal. It was something of a different color, but it's hard to make out from the distance that you're at. As Moxie starts kind of walking up closer to it as well. What would you like to do? Moxie, did you have anything?
I'm just walking closer to the child, trying to get a better look at him.
Okay. From this distance, you can see He looks weak. He looks non-responsive. Doesn't know that you're there whatsoever. I mean, you've got pretty close this time. An arrow just went off the wall and tinked off the ground, kind of not too far from him, and he didn't react to any of it. You see his face, his cheeks are sunken in a little bit. He doesn't look good. And at this point, you glance at him. You glance at that symbol on the wall. And the teardrops that are coming out have now moved on to another one of the droplets on the wall that has filled up.
And I cast sleep on this child.
You can certainly cast sleep on this child. So, sleep. Can you give us a rundown real quick, please?
Yeah, it's what it sounds like. Spell sends a creature into magical slumber.
Yep.
It's 5d8, and then it puts the creature with the lowest HP to sleep first in the area.
So you're doing it in that kind of like you're keeping it outside of the range of your friends.
I'm keeping it, yeah, and so it should only hit him.
Okay. So roll your 5d8. You cast sleep. You watch the boy's eyes instantly close. He hasn't moved any different than that, and the blood is still flowing out, but his eyes have closed. You also watch as right behind the boy, in the vicinity of the spell going off, out of the light that Raymond has at that point is dim light. Even at that point, you can see fine, but the way that this works, you can't tell that this thing is there until all of a sudden it goes to sleep and it is affected by this thing. And you see this hovering creature just off to the boy's, his right shoulder. His left shoulder, I should say. This hovering creature in black. It looks almost like it is incorporeal, but it looks tangible. And there's wisps of kind of smokiness coming off of what appears to be potentially like a long cloak kind of that it's covering its whole body. You see no face on it, but you watch its head slump as you cast this spell. And in the room, you hear, and you turn back, and you can see now that you've affected one of these creatures. Behind Raymond, very close to Raymond, another one has made itself known and is moving itself towards Raymond. The boy and the other one are clearly asleep, but this finds us into our third initiative order, as you awakened these shadows that were not awakened, but they were definitely here doing something. So let's roll some initiative. I'm gonna throw us back on the map scene so all of our party people who are watching the show can see it as well. And the box definitely does not fucking have initiative. That's silly. So let's remove that. As this creature starts screeching out, and it draws the attention of the whole group. This other one that appears just outside of the range, Fignacious, you can just see the outside of this other one that kind of is by the boy, and you all turn to see this other one that's yelling out into the room as this creature just swoops in out of the darkness, out of the dim light that was back here, and works its way towards Raymond. And Raymond, it is definitely going to attack you. As it gets up on you, you watch as it brings these like almost ghostly type black arms and hands up towards your face and just goes, and you can hear this kind of pulling towards its hands as it attacks you for 22 to hit, dealing 7 necrotic damage.
Yep.
As it sucks some of your strength. You feel yourself get a little bit weaker. Your strength score is reduced by a d4, and I would like you to roll the d4, please. Do damage to yourself. Do damage to yourself.
I'm like, that's pretty cruel.
1 damage.
Okay, not 1 damage. So it's your strength score drops by 1, and that's its turn. Yurgriff, you hear this and you look over. You see that Moxie has cast a spell on the boy, his eyes closed real briefly, but then a shadow, this creature, appeared next to the boy and is not moving. Its head slumped down. You hear this weird call of another one as you look over to Raymond and see him being attacked.
Yurgriff is going to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 50. Use his action to dash next to the thing and holds up his shield. He says, why don't y'all come get a piece of something that's moving? And that's his turn.
Okay, so you're not going to attack the one that's there. You're just going to kind of get up there and...
He used his action to dash.
Oh, just to dash. Okay, so you get up to the position, you get your shield out and ready, and you're ready to go on the next move.
Yeah, his walking speed sucks because he has little dwarven legs.
Okay, so sleep real quick. That lasts for how long? It just lasts for a minute, right? This thing's just asleep until that time, Moxie?
Yeah, it's just a minute, unless someone attacks it or wakes it up.
Okay, so it is just sleeping there, so it can't do anything on its turn. That was this guy, yeah. Raymond, you have turned to this thing and you feel your vitality being sucked away. Your strength is waning, and this creature is in front of you. What do you do?
I'm gonna put my bow away and pull out my two short swords, and I'm going to two-weapon attack it because I don't have much else to do.
Okay. You very quick, and both swords just come out and around, and you bring them up and you get ready to make your attacks. Please do so, my friend.
First one's a 21.
Ooh, 21 hits.
And that is going to be for 9 points of damage.
Nice. And your second attack, sir?
That would be a 16.
16 hits.
And that will be for just 1 more damage because that's my bonus attack.
Okay. You pull out your two swords, and one you slash at this thing, and it clearly hits it. Like, this thing doesn't look tangible to you, but you hit it and your sword makes contact and it shifts it to the side a little bit, and your second one comes in and you kind of just jab at it and catch a piece of it, but don't do enough damage to destroy whatever this howling creature is. Bringing this back around, unless you have that was your action, bonus action, you want to try to move, don't forget attacks of opportunity if you move away from the creature.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to stay.
Okay. Moxie, it is your turn.
Yeah, so I'm going to move to the one with Raymond and take out my rapier, and I'm going to attack it.
Okay. You make attacks. Nice, 18 hits. So you rush it, rapier out in front of you, and just stab through it. Roll damage, please. 11. Nice. And as you stab through it, you hear as it just and dissipates, and the creature is no longer here.
With the rest of my turn, I just look back to Yurgriff and I'm like, if you hit it, it will wake up unless you can just kill it outright.
Okay.
That is noted, my dear. Thank you very much.
Fignacious Mangelbopper. From the back of the room, you watch them destroy one of these. Another one, you hear Moxie yell out what she just said. Towards the other side is that other shadow creature, Yurgriff, and the boy. Hey, boy.
So then since this creature's asleep, and if I don't attack it, are we out of combat if I don't attack it, or are we just in combat?
No, so it was slept for technically the round before combat, so it is going to be slept for another, because this is the first round of combat. It'll be slept for another 9 rounds, and then it will wake up. So we'll kind of hang out in like quasi combat if you leave it alone and you want to do other stuff. But we'll, that's roughly 1 minute of time in game.
Gotcha. So this part of combat's a little new for me. So I can go and like search the area and search that other whatever wispy thingy it is, right?
Yeah, you can certainly do that if you want to. I mean, there's no threats on you at the moment that you can see.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna use my turn. So are we still at 50% movement speed? Back to
No,
100%.
you're not. You're back to regular movement speed in here. That sludge is gone. This room actually looks very nice. It's not, it's dusty or whatever, but the floors look like they were once very beautiful marble. There's no sludge anywhere in here. It was kept up. It's kept up as it can be.
I think I'm gonna move and then not do anything else after that.
Okay, so you're just gonna move. Where do you want to go to? Up there?
Yeah.
Cool. So, you know what? Real quick, just to throw that, because people at home can't see. That's the door, and I don't think you could have seen it either. That's where the door is with the symbol, the ball symbol that was on there. Which, real quick, I'm just gonna throw back into chat. Up there. Okay, so you make some moves and kind of get yourself ready. Do you want to do anything? Do you want to ready anything? Or you're just going to move? Because you can ready actions as your action. Like you could ready, I throw a dagger if something moves, or I have a spell getting ready to cast. Like you can do that. You just got to be specific with what it is.
Yeah, I'm actually the reminder of the door made me think I'm gonna firebolt the door.
Okay.
Do I see the magic barrier that
No.
arrow?
No, you don't. You have no idea about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna firebolt that door.
Okay. Make an attack, please.
Or like the skull thingy.
Yeah. Make an attack, please.
Bam. God, my rolls today.
Goes back in. So that was 9 to hit, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it does hit. It hits the whole wall, the whole door space, and you watch as it hits. Now you definitely see it, and anyone in the area, except for maybe Yurgriff, who's not facing the door proper, sees that the door lights up as your firebolt is torn in two and sucked into the eyes of the skull, and now the eyes are burning bright, and you watch as more blood very quickly now starts dripping out of the boy's eyes at the door. As right now, I think before I had said that the half of the things had already been filled, and one of them was kind of working its way. There's only 4 more blood droplets on the door that are empty, and now one of them is it's filling up very quickly, getting closer to 3.5 that are unfilled. And it's clear that your fire attack was a direct result of that.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Yurgriff. You hear this explosion behind you. A little bit of warmth kind of licks your back.
My, that did feel quite nice down in this sub-ass basement. Yurgriff
Nice.
is going to go check out the chest and check it for traps.
Okay. So Yurgriff, you go over to the chest and you start to look at it and make an investigation check. As you walk up on this chest, it is a wooden chest inlaid with metal bracing that kind of covers all the corners and edges. There is a hole for a key that is there. The key does not seem to be in it, but you're just looking at it right now. What was your investigation? No, you just muted yourself, but I see the 8.
It was an 8.
Okay, so you notice the keyhole. You don't see anything in particular that would be trap B, but also that's not necessarily your forte, so you're not entirely sure.
Can he open it, or is checking it his turn?
No, you can totally check. You can totally try to open it. I think just looking at it is not,
He wants to try to open it.
Okay. So we'll just call it, open. investigating it and opening it is your action bonus action, and you grab the edges and try to lift the top, and it doesn't budge. So much so that the box itself doesn't even inch off the ground in the energy you put towards it. It's like it's stuck into the ground and it's got a locked top.
That is it for his turn.
Okay. The shadow's still asleep. The boy's still asleep. Raymond, is there anything else you want to do?
I don't think this horse is quite dead yet. Would you say that the keyhole for that chest looks like it requires an ass key? I'll take that as a no.
Yurgriff yells back and says, "What? Oh, sorry. What?
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind." Raymond is going to run over to the boy, and he is going to. He's been seeing the blood pull into this skull, so he's just gonna like, whoa, I don't know, something's getting all moved around. But
I just moved you.
That's all right. I'm gonna run up, and then just full blown dash action to just grab the boy and try to like get him as far away from the sleeping dude and that skull situation going on. Like I don't know how far on a dash I can get him pretty far, so I want to get him almost to the top of the north wall of this room.
Okay. When you get to the boy and you grasp onto him, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Just straight up wisdom?
Yep. What's a wisdom saving throw?
That'd be a 9. That, right. Right, I need to do one of those things. Oh, that was not as good as my wisdom roll.
Well, that's fine. What's your normal plus? It's +2, and you rolled a, so you rolled a 17 plus. That's fine. It's the same as your wisdom, so you don't have to worry about that. So your 19 is fine. You touch the boy, and you grab onto him, and you feel this pull, almost like you want to fucking look at that door, man. Like, not right now. And then you pull. Make a strength check, please. You can do athletics if you'd like.
This is where the importance of the minus comes to play. Did I go from an 11 to a 10, so I'm still +0, or did I go from 0 to -1 for strength?
So your score, well, your regular score is 11, so it brought you to a 10, so you're still +0.
Okay. I will roll a strength check.
Strength or athletics,
Is it
up to you.
strength?
Yep.
It's the same.
Okay.
Ooh, that'd be a 6.
Okay. So you're like, fucking really? That door looks so cool. No, not right now. And you pull. And as you do, you slip and your hand can't pull the boy out of his space. But you notice that this sleeping shadow has it's whatever this thing is, hand clawed around the boy's shoulder. You're unable to move the boy.
I assume that would be my turn.
Yes, that would be your turn. Moxie.
I turn to the group, and I just say, I can't move this here boy. I think that's the final voice.
That's a good one. I like it. Moxie, it's your turn. And Fignacious is on deck.
I'm gonna go attack the sleeping one and try to kill it.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume a 21 hits. So.
Oh yeah, 21 definitely hits. And this thing takes 7 points of piercing damage as you rush up with your rapier and stab through it. And it's still sleeping. Its head is still lulled down. Its other hand, you can see it as well because you're so close. It's grasping the boy's shoulder. But you do some damage to it. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, I'll stay there and keep it pinned down so Raymond can get the boy, hopefully.
In your notes, I'm just typing in advantage on attacks against sleeping creatures. That way we don't forget about it. It is built into your actual spell, and you'll be able to see that, because I guarantee you, my ass will forget about it. Not my basement ass, a regular ass. I will forget about it.
Not the whole ass, not the basement ass.
Regular
ass.
Yes,
not the sub
the
ass.
ass key. Not the sub ass.
What? Not wait. Is there a sub?
Ass rapier.
Is there a sub ass key?
Speaking of ass though, you did say doo doo not that long ago. So
thank you.
I knew I wouldn't be the only one that noticed. You said doo doo.
Okay. That's it for you.
Is everything ass related going to be the theme of this podcast? Like, that is brutal.
You know, if that's going to be the case, then I'm going to introduce Assy McGee as a character.
Well,
No?
then they're going to be the leader of our group, so.
Is that lost on all of you? Look up Assy McGee later. Moxie, is that it for you?
I'm scared to Google this.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Fignacious Mangelbopper.
So, is Moxie covering this thing?
No, she's
Like,
just
if
kind
I
of
were
up.
to shoot-
She's up on it. Like, you could step to the side and easily do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna step up here.
The
next to
general
the-
rule of thumb, at least in games I've always played or run, is that you can move through your friends and you can shoot or attack through your friends, but you can't move through or shoot or attack through the enemy.
Cool.
Unless it's real
my
cool.
attack is so powerful that like it goes right through the enemy and hits the enemy behind that enemy, or whatever.
Well, in that case, it'd be the boy. So, what you doing?
Let's not do that. Yeah, and because of that, I'm gonna choose this angle, and I'm going to do the only thing that I can really do right now is firebolt.
Okay. Firebolt, roll attack, please.
Yeah, nat 20.
Damn, nice job.
25.
First one.
Finally.
Great timing.
Roll your damage,
yeah.
sir. So we had actually this is our first nat 20, I think, in combat where we've actually had to figure this out, because I think one might have happened before, but the damage was so negligible it wouldn't have mattered because the guy had nothing left. So in our game, we are doing a different type of natural 20, and I think it's cooler. We all discussed this in advance. This is a homebrew I've been doing for a little while, and it's a lot more fun. So you roll your normal damage, and then whatever your natural 20, your critical damage would be, normally what you would do is just roll extra dice. Instead, those dice are automatically the max on the die. So for your instance, your firebolt
Yep.
is
1d10.
1d10. So you're gonna roll your d10.
Okay, rolling. 7.
And then you're going to automatically add add a full d10 to it, so it's plus 10. So it'll be 17 points of damage. So
Okay, cool. Instead
it
of the
says
6,
fire
it's gonna
critical
be-
on there. That's actually something I think we can change in Beyond 20. We'll deal with that later. But so it's 7 plus a
17
full 10, so 17. And as your firebolt flies through and hits this creature, it starts to burn through the face of this thing. And as it does, it doesn't do anything because it was sleeping, and it takes so much blunt damage from this thing up front that it has no time to react as it comes out of that sleep spell, as its face explodes outwards. You can see behind this black facade of like wispy kind of darkness, almost this glint of a skull in there. But it's only for a moment as this thing just and is destroyed. And as this happens, the child, the dwarven boy, falls backwards, and the last drips of blood that are already flying out towards this thing. And you look over, you look at the boy, you look at the door as these blood droplets are going. There's only one droplet on the ball's sigil on the door that isn't filled yet, and these are heading towards it, and they just drop to the floor as the boy falls back and gasps, and he's unconscious, but he is breathing.
as this wisp thing is burning, I'm going elated at one of my spells finally working in such a glorious way. And then I'm assuming people look at me and then I notice it. I'm like, oh.
You see the fire in the eyes of the skull on the door go out, and all of those blood droplets that were filled on the door, those pieces, all just flash out. The blood falls onto the ground, and there's a pile of, like, probably the better part of almost 2 quarts of blood on the ground. And knowing in general that, you know, 2 quarts of blood from an adult is not good, for a boy it's even worse, and you're kind of understanding the situation that you're currently in.
Can I do a medicine check on the boy?
Yeah, certainly. Roll a medicine check, please. What are you looking for? Give me some flavor, please. I like the flavor, like chocolate, strawberry.
I know he's got like sunken cheeks and all of that, but I'm looking for other injuries, and then just looking to see if there's anything that I might be able to do. Like maybe I go collect. Can I collect up some of that blood and try to shove it back into his eyes, or I don't know.
Make your medicine check.
If I do really well, that means that I will believe I can just take that blood and shove it back into his eye, right? I just rolled a natural 20.
You
I rolled a natural 20.
Look,
Does he also find an ass key on this kid?
Just for clarification, natural 20s in combat, 100% you hit shit. Natural 20s when something's impossible still does not make it not impossible. Either way, that's awesome. You're looking at this kid and you think for a second, maybe that blood. No, that's fucking stupid. I can't do that. There's no way. That's not gonna work. Not me anyway. But you do think with your natural 20, Raymond. Oh, you don't get spells as a level 2, so never mind. You think that he needs food, he needs water, he needs rest. If we were in another world, you might think he needs a blood transfusion, but we're not. I don't know that really exists at this point, or you would even know about it if it does.
I pull out my water skin and I start to give him water immediately. Okay.
He's not waking up, but you are able to get some down his throat without choking him out. Massaging his throat with that natural 20 you just got there. He's like, just drink this and drink, like it's a cat or something, trying to give him a pill. And it's working. But you think that you probably need to get him up above ground as soon as you can.
I relay that to the group.
I send my disc over in case you want to pop him on there.
It's not a bad idea.
Put the boy's body on the disc.
Yurgriff picks him up, puts him on the disc.
Cool. And he's floating there on the disc, and you find yourselves in this room with the ball sigil door and this chest. What would you guys like to do?
Can Yurgriff... So you said the top of the chest is locked, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to try to unlock it for you?
Yeah. I think that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I don't know if I have a roll for my thieves' tools.
I don't think there's a roll for that, but there is just the d20. I think if you click the little die in the bottom left corner, you can just roll 1d20. And it should dump in. And just add your proficiency, which at this level is... I don't see it on the screen anywhere. 2. It's been so long since I've run a game where I've had lower than level 10 characters. This is great. I love this. So uncomplicated, so much easier. This shit's gonna get great. This should, by the time we guys are level 15, this is gonna be nuts.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's already kind of cool.
9.
So Moxie, you pull out your thieves' tools, and thieves' tools are they're typically like a set of, like, you unroll this set of things, and usually in that set there are things like you might have ball bearings and stuff like that for sure, but always there are lockpick set pieces, and you pull some of that out and you start working on it. And you don't break them, but you get into a point where you think you're gonna bend a pair of them, and you don't want to do that, so you pull them back out and say, I can't get this open.
Can you just like carry the chest out and then we can just break it open?
Yurgriff tries to pick it up.
Okay, make a
To
strength
put
check.
it on the disc.
Okay, make a strength check.
Like the one thing he does really well, which means I'm gonna roll terrible. Nailed
Okay.
it. That's a 10.
You attempt to lift it, and it's not necessarily that you're not strong enough, because you're a strong dwarf, but it does not budge from the ground. The size of it, what it looks like it's made out of, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to pick this thing up, but you can't.
Raymond is gonna walk over and he's just gonna say, "Yeah, if maybe if you use your lockpicks like this, Moxie, give it another shot, huh?" And since I've also got proficiency in thieves' tools, I'm gonna try and give her advantage and give her another go.
Okay.
I basically give her a tip.
Yeah,
You want
that's
to
cool.
give me your lock picking tools?
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
So yeah, are you just
No,
like
I'm-
giving?
Go ahead.
Are you just giving her your lockpick tools and asking her to give it another try?
No, did you trash? You didn't trash your tools. You just
No, I
just
bend
stopped.
them though. Yeah.
No, you
Oh,
didn't
you
bend them.
bent them.
They started to get to a point where you were worried that they would, and you were like, I can't do this right now. I don't want to lose these tools. I think.
Yeah,
Raymond,
I'm
if
giving you like.
I was gonna say, Raymond, if I think for the sake of this, because Moxie failed, if you want to try with your thieves' tools, you totally can.
All right.
But I don't think it makes
All right.
sense to let her try again. At least not
All
right
fair
now.
enough.
And I will give you bardic inspiration. So
That sounds great.
Yeah, you actually had bardic
Yeah,
inspiration,
maybe-
which is still good, right?
I feel like it's only a minute, but I could check.
Oh, and I just made since we're talking about asses today, I did just make an ass blast. I don't know if it got picked up on my mic or not, but
Nice.
It did not.
people are good. People are gonna hate this show.
It's 10 minutes, so I don't know how long it's been since that first combat, but
No,
it's probably within 10 minutes.
yeah, it's within 10 minutes. It's still good. You guys haven't been down here very long, so you
So
still
then
have
you
that.
already have it.
Okay.
So you roll a d20 plus your proficiency, and then if you want to, before giving me that number, you can roll a d6 to add on.
May I mention this little kid's dying down here while we're trying to pick this lock on this chest?
We promised to find him. We found him.
All right. I'm gonna add a D6 to that. So that would be a whopping 11 when all is said and done.
Tell me again how you're doing it.
You find yourself in a very similar position, and you start to work your lockpicks in here, and Moxie's like kind of coaching you from behind as you try to work this out, and she's like, you know, some of it's good and some of it's like maybe demeaning a little bit, but eventually you're like, I can't unlock this. I don't know what the deal is.
I think Raymond, in frustration at this point, just says, Yurgriff, you're a smithy, right?
The best smithy you have ever seen, my boy.
Great. I hope you can fix this if I fuck this up. And I'm going to take my short sword and just shove it in there and try to break the lock.
Oh, okay.
Is this a padlock or like a built-in lock?
It's a
or what kind of lock?
built-in lock keyhole style.
I'm going to try and like stick it between the lid and the box itself and just try to like, crank it to open the thing
So
up.
you want to try and pry it open, not like break the box.
I want to try and pry it open.
Yeah. Okay. So make a strength check then.
That's a gross looking 7.
you stick it into a corner, and you can only get fuck just the tip. You can only get the tip in, and and you're pushing down, and you're like, this, like, no way, not happening.
Yeah, well, this ain't working.
No, we should probably leave this stupid chest here and get this board back to the surface.
We could always just come back.
How about let's take 2 of us and go up, and the other 2 stay down and keep trying. Or we can all...
Clearly, Raymond and I are very good at opening this chest.
Yeah, actually, maybe not. We need to get your tools repaired. I would like to try 1 firebolt at this. Just
by all means, roll an attack with your firebolt, please.
I tell everyone, step back. You know how powerful my firebolts are. You saw the last one.
This chest is gonna be our campaign's door, as doors are to Critical Role. 22 to hit. Okay, 22 hits. Roll damage, please.
9.
Okay. As your firebolt slams into this thing, you watch as it hits, and the fire is absorbed into the keyhole. Very similar to the way it did on the door with the eyes.
Fuck this chest.
I feel like my turn is over, but
Raymond says, "Fuck this door," and starts to take the child and walk towards the glyph, or the whatever that door is.
The portcullis up to the top side. So you go to
portcullis.
Yeah, you go to push, like, to grab the disc, and it does not move. It's controlled by Fignacious.
Excuse me. And then I make the disc go. As I mean, like, what else am I gonna? No, I go and I sit down behind or wherever there's a spot on the thing, because me plus the boy is still less than 500 pounds.
That's enough. The 2 of you are able to get on there. It's only a 3-foot diameter, so the 2 of you will be able to get on there no problem and float, as the rest of you keep walking ahead and stopping for him to catch up, and then walking ahead and stopping for him to catch up. And as you head back up into the up the stairs, this portcullis opens. You already know that there was a handle, a handle you could pull down the lever to open it. You did see it, you just couldn't get it before because you didn't have enough strength with the mage hand. You pull that, the portcullis rises. You find yourselves making your way back up through the doorway and up the stairs into the ass basement, not the sub basement anymore, of the temple, and finding your way back into town. And I think that is a good place to end this particular episode of Rabble Rouzers.
Yay! Firebolt everything.
Yeah, good job. Nice job.
We did a thing.
Yeah, we did a thing. It was good. And hey, we had it, and it recorded, and everything was great, and that's super sweet. It makes me happy. I didn't have to fucking deal with goddamn bullshit.
Yes.
For everyone out there who has been watching, we have been Rabble Rouzers. We really hope you enjoyed this episode and the first one, and the recap of the second one you didn't get to watch. So tune in for the next one, and follow us on all the things. But we'll see you soon. I guess.
Bye.